Welcome, welcome. Oh, good. We've got a full house. Welcome to our town hall meeting. So good to see you all after this long weekend. I hope you all rested up because we are having a visit March 7th through the 11th from our accreditation team. I have all their names here, and I'll go over those real quick, but this is the first of a series preparing for the accreditation team that will be here March 7th to the 11th. There will be 10 teams converging on Los Angeles, California that will be looking at all 9 campuses plus a team just for the district. Each team will have a dozen people. So 12 times 10, 120 people coming to Los Angeles Community College District to spend a week and look at if we meet the standards, the 4 standards which we'll discuss, and Madeline is going to lead the conversation. I think we're more than prepared. We've, I think, came up with a very good document, a very good self-evaluation. Again, many thanks to all that participated in that. The Accreditation Steering Committee has been phenomenal and continues to work hard on the next steps, getting ready for the visit, making sure the visit goes well, and then any follow-up we need to do with regard to some of the things we'd like to work on, what we call actionable improvement plans. And then, of course, looking at the new standard in this current year of quality focus essays. We, as an institution, selected 2 long-term activities to improve our institution. One is integrated planning, and the other is student services development. So those things will be addressed tomorrow at the Accreditation Steering Committee meeting. So quickly, these names and their bios will be on the accreditation website, if not today, tomorrow. So you can read up on the individuals that will be here. I have conversed along with Vice President Allen with representatives from the team, but I have conversed with the team chair is Dr. Deborah Ikeda, and she's the president of Clovis Community College, which is the most recent community college gaining initial accreditation. I think they're number 113. I've met with her, a very intelligent and thorough and likable person. So I look forward to continuing that relationship with her. The team assistant will be Kelly Fowler from Clovis. She's the vice president of instruction. She'll be working closely with Michael Allen as our accreditation liaison officer. Then we have a woman named Christina Allende. She's at Mount SAC professor of English that will be joining us. Next is Sasha Anderson, Fresno City College mathematics instructor. So our very own Vice President of Student Services, Dr. Christopher Villa, who's in the audience, probably knows her pretty well, and that's a good thing. Miss Michelle Beasley, Taft College Associate Professor of Early Care Education and Family. So I don't know, Jan, if you've met her, but she's part of the Early Care Education Family Studies program at Taft College. Michelle Beasley. Then a Miss Mary Beth Bonvenuti, College of Alameda Director of Business and Administration. So hopefully Danny or some of his folks know her. Dr. G. Havapur, Yuba College President. So up north, Yuba College President, I don't know him. Well, matter of fact, I did meet him. Now I see his photo. I met him 2 weeks ago at a conference. Oh, good. See, nice to know you meet people. Then Dr. Sonia Loland, Sierra College Dean of Business and Technology. So I don't know, Velma, if you know Butler's here, Bernal, if she knows her. And then Nancy Meddings, Ellen Hancock College Project Director of Title V and Dean of the Library Learning Resource Center. So that'll be good. Library and the LRC and Title V program. Then Dr. Gregory Peterson, Long Beach City College Vice President of Student Services. Christopher, you probably know him. He's been there for some time, I think. Then we have Bonnie Suderman, Antelope Valley College Assistant Superintendent and Vice President of Academic Affairs. I've met her. I know the president there pretty well. Antelope, good guy, good program. And then finally, Dr. Theodore Younglove, Dean of School of Math and Science, Chaffey College. So we have math and science with us here. But again, all these will be posted on our website, if not today, tomorrow. And I'm going to give this to Oliva so she knows how to do that. Again, welcome. We'll get started. I'm going to turn it over to Madeline. I'm looking for a very successful visit, and so is Leslie, Milky, and all of us are looking forward to that. Madeline, it's all yours. Thank you.
Thank you. So for those of you that were around in the last cycle, 2013, it is not deja vu, I'm back up here. Unfortunately, Kelly is sick today, so I will be manning the station for a bit. My name is Madeline Hernandez. I'm the Dean of Academic Affairs. And we're just going to briefly go through what we are doing to prepare for the visit, what the visit's going to look like. With a show of hands, how many people here have been involved in some way, shape, or form with accreditation this cycle? Look around. It should be almost everyone, right? This is a campus-wide effort, and that's something that we have been really diligent in making sure that we have as much involvement across the campus as possible. So, as stated, today's agenda, we're going to talk about the purpose of the visit, the dates of the visit. President Perez just talked about the visiting team, the structure of the visit, the preparation for the visit. We're going to talk about the upcoming town halls, and then what to expect after the visit, and if you have any questions. One of the things that we've been looking at through this process is how, as a campus, we meet the standard. And so one of the things that we're looking at is institutional effectiveness, academic quality, and student success. And as you can see, all of them are linked. Everything ties into each other. And that's one of the things that we want to make sure that we are looking at, that we're not looking at one as a silo, but they're all working together and how they're connected and what we can do to make sure that we're meeting the standard in all of these areas, not just in academic quality, not just in institutional effectiveness, and not just in student success. For those of you that may not be familiar with the standard and you would enjoy some light reading, you can look up the self-evaluation report. It's available on the website. But just briefly, Standard 1 covers the mission and its effectiveness. Standard 2 covers all of student learning programs and services, so that includes library, student services, and academic programs. Standard 3 is resources, which includes our HR, facilities, technology, and finances. And then Standard 4 is leadership and governance. We do have a quality focus essay, which is new this year, or this round, I guess, a cycle. So the quality focus essay has been split up into two parts. Part 1 is about integrated planning. One of the things we realized as we looked at our campus and what we were doing was that we were not being effective in our planning processes. So that is one thing that we are going to be looking at to be more efficient. And then part 2 is student services. One of the biggest gaps was staffing levels, and so we are slowly working on that, but there were other things that we need to look at to improve our services for students. And so this is another part of the quality focus essay that we're going to be looking at over the next cycle. As we look at the upcoming visit, the visiting team is coming. They've read our report, and they're looking to verify that what we've written in there is accurate, that it's true, that we're doing what we say we're doing. They're going to look at the evidence and verify that that is accurate, that it supports that what we're saying we're doing, we're actually doing. And then finally, they're going to pull everything together and complete an exit report and let us know whether or not they think we're doing what we said we're doing. As President Perez stated, the visit is going to be March 7th through the 11th. They're expected to be on campus only through the 10th. He went over the membership and who will be here visiting. The structure of the visit, they're going to be meeting with various campus stakeholders. They may meet individually, they may meet in groups. We probably will not know exactly who they will be meeting with, whether it'll be individual or in a group, or when, until either the week before or maybe even the few days before they're here. And even then, that may change. So one of the things we ask of everybody during that week is be flexible. We will not be pulling any faculty out of classrooms, but we are asking if they change your time, change the location, be flexible with it. Sometimes in one group, they may find something and they want to talk to someone else and they change their schedule around. So it's very common. And then also, they will have a closing presentation on Thursday. So some of you may ask, when will I be interacting with them and how? Not just with the group and individual interviews, but also they may attend any shared governance committee meetings that we have that week. So be prepared if you are meeting during that week in any of your committees. It may or may not just be shared governance. They may step in, and they're really just coming in to verify that we're following process. If it's a Brown Act committee, that we're following Brown Act. So continue as expected. Just know that they may be sneaking in and out of some of those meetings. And then as stated, we will have 2 town hall meetings while they're here. One will be on March 8th and the other on Thursday, March 10th. In the closing presentation, which is going to be March 10th, they're going to talk about what they found. It's all going to be very general. They usually will give us the commendations, tell us what was great. As last time, we expect it's definitely going to be our culinary arts program. But they're usually pretty open about telling us what was really good, what they enjoyed, what were some of the things that they found were doing really well. They will briefly, generally, very, very generally cover other areas of concern. They don't go into a lot of detail. Although they write the final report, it's the commission that makes the final decision. So they submit their report to the commission, and the commission may or may not adopt their recommendations. So what can you do to prepare for the visit? Read the report. There are certain sections that are going to be really specific to your areas, whether it's an area that you serve on, so if it's a committee, look at those sections and read up on those areas. Make sure that if there's any actionable improvement plans, means that we have identified a gap. Make sure that you know what that is and what we're already looking at planning to help close that gap. To help everybody become more familiar just in general with all of the standards, we're going to have 3 more dates coming up for town halls. Each of the next town halls is going to focus on specific standards. They will be during the college hour on either Tuesday or Thursday from 12:30 to 1:30. This coming Thursday, we're going to focus on standards 1 and 4. Next week will be standard 3, and then March 1st will be standard 2. So what do we do after the visit? Number 1, we keep working. We will get a debriefing. We will review the draft report. So once they write their exit report, we will review that report. It will only be college leadership, the president and the ALO that will be reviewing that report, making any necessary changes to accuracy. And then they will forward that to the commission. We will continue to work on all of our actionable improvement plans and our areas of improvement. And then we wait. We wait and we wait anxiously for their decision in July. Any questions?
In previous visits, sometimes the team has come into a class and sat and observed a class, and I'm wondering if we should perhaps alert faculty members that they might come and just sit at the back for 5 or 10 minutes.
Yes, that is always a possibility. While they're here on campus, they essentially have free reign of our campus. So they may enter a program, they may enter a unit, they could walk into financial aid, they could walk into admissions and records, they could walk into a classroom. They could stop you in the walkway and just ask you some questions. So just be prepared. And one of the things I did not mention, the president and the ASO president actually created a small video. It's less than 8 minutes, I believe, and it just covers basically what we talked about here even more generally, but it's really geared towards students. So it's available on the accreditation website, and if you play that in your classrooms, just so students are also aware that the visiting team will be here and they understand why we're going through the process, what it is, and why we do it. Any other questions? We will have a survey that we're going to pass out, so if you don't mind filling that out before you leave today. And otherwise, thank you, and we hope to see you Thursday at the next town hall.
I do have one question. Thank you. Hi. If they find a difficulty with one of our campuses, and let's say they lose their whatever they lose, does that affect the other 8 campuses?
Each campus is accredited individually.
Oh,
so, there's different levels of sanction. So it would depend on what it is they found, but typically, well, maybe I shouldn't say typically. It really will depend on what they found and how drastic it is what kind of drastic measures they need to take. But again, the visiting team isn't the one that makes the sanction. They're not the ones that hand down the sanction. It actually comes from the commission. So even if they found certain things that they thought were alarming, they would be passing that on to the commission, and the commission would be making their final decision.
Okay.
So we won't know anything until July.
All right. I just had one other thought also when this whole thing started. This visit is a preparatory for the overall report, or this is after the report, right?
The report has already been submitted.
Right,
The report is
right.
done, approved,
Yeah.
and has been submitted.
This is just a follow-up on what the report says and such like what you're
Correct.
mentioning. Yeah.
Correct.
Correcting any mistakes or anything, right?
It's not correcting mistakes. This is actually to make sure that everybody is aware of what the report states, so that when the visiting team comes, everybody knows generally what's in all of the areas and is familiar with the report itself.
Okay, thank you.
Michael, you may have to answer this.
How does the district accreditation affect each campus?
Well, I have to say that there's not a clear answer to that one, because this is the first time that the district itself is having its own team that's going to evaluate the district. Usually what happens is that there's a chair of chairs, and then certain members from each of the campus teams evaluate the district. It will not affect our accreditation status, all right? But it could affect us in terms of how the district operates, because the district provides us certain operating procedures. We take our lead from the Board of Trustees. So, for example, if in Standard 4 the district team made a finding that the Board of Trustees is too intrusive into the daily operations of the campuses, that will have an effect on us insofar as how the Board of Trustees would operate in the future. Did that answer your question, Bob Doug?
Thank you.
Thank you. Please don't forget to turn in your surveys.